All right, so we are back with another episode of Unleashed Alchemy. Thank you so much for being here, for joining me here once again. So, in today's episode, we're going to talk about how there is this idea that when you make spirituality the backbone of every aspect of your life, that somehow means that you are disregarding your dreams or you are negating your own dreams. That is not the case at all. But before we get in today's episode, I want to remind you that I do take one-on-one sessions. These are transformational sessions to guide you back to your higher self so that you can start to activate that hidden power within you so that you can live a soul aligned life. I also have two new offerings I'm so excited about. The first one is a course that's called How to Stand Firm in Your I Am Power on this 3D realm, and it's really for those that could be experiencing an opportunity disguised as a challenge. You know that you are being inspired to move a certain way, to take certain actions that don't align with the ego, that don't align with what people think you should do, and how to handle it. So get into that course. Also, I have just opened the Unleashed Alchemy Mystery School. All right. So in simple terms, it's a membership, okay? But this is not your typical simple membership, all right? We talk about all things spiritual, okay? And if you know that you are being called to a high level of consciousness, if you know that there are perhaps you've already taken up a spiritual practice, or you're starting to recognize that you have these spiritual gifts, you're starting to get these downloads, that membership is designed so that you can be a part of a community where you can share your insights, because perhaps there are people around you who don't get it yet, and that's okay. But this space is for you. We talk about rituals. We talk about enchanting our life with magic. We talk about bringing in the 3D, or merging, I should say, the 3D with our spirituality. And we talk about integration. We talk about getting into spiritual gifts, how to recognize your spiritual gifts, how to tap into your intuition. There are so many resources that I have developed for you already. So the membership is now open. It is called Unleashed Alchemy Mystery School. I did an entire video dedicated to really describing what that membership is. And I would invite you to look at that video. It's called Unleashed Alchemy. I did the video on my YouTube channel. It's called the video is called Something New is Here. And I go into detail about what you'll be gaining in that membership. All right, so let's get into today's episode. Now, many times people will either avoid a spiritual path because in their minds, they think they have to give up what they desire, or give up their dream, or give up this, perhaps a business that they've had, or just give up everything that they've done up to this point. Now, what can happen is that when our higher self is reeling us back in, the things that we have built up may appear as though they are crumbling. So that could happen, okay? But it doesn't mean that you will not gain 7 times 7 over what you've built, when spirituality becomes the backbone in every single part of your life. To live a spiritual life does not equate to disregarding your dreams, all right? Now, when we talk about spirituality, we do have to talk about detachment and surrender. So let's say, for example, that you've had a childhood dream, or it could just be any dream. It could be any vision that you've had doesn't have to necessarily be from childhood. It could be a new vision that was downloaded perhaps 2 or 3 years ago. Okay? And when you step into spirituality, like I said, there is a level of detachment and surrender that goes along with that. The ego will scream and say, "You're disregarding who you are. Why are you letting those things go?" Well, here's what will happen. So, for example, from a child, one of the things I wanted to do was design clothes. Now, when I stepped into my spiritual awakening, or I finally surrendered to my higher self, I finally surrendered to my own spiritual gifts. Well, it's not that I don't desire being a fashion designer, but my perspective about it is different. I have detached from it because I know that there are infinite ways for that dream to still manifest. It's not just a straight path. So I haven't given up anything. I haven't given up any part of myself. So when the ego comes in and says, "Well, remember, that's what you used to want to do when you were little. Now you don't want to do it anymore. You're giving up everything. You're giving up a part of yourself," when the opposite is really happening. When you make the decision to just surrender and allow spirituality to be the backbone, you're actually stepping into more of who you are, because that more of who you are is the expanded version of you. Now you're tapping into your soul, not just this limited ego frame or limited identity that you have given yourself. Doesn't mean that the dream has to be abandoned. Okay? So, one of the ways to do this is to accept, and I just spoke about this, is to accept the infinite ways and the possibilities that the dream can unfold when your spirituality becomes your backbone. Because here's what we have to remember, and I'm going back to detachment. Here's why when you come into spirituality, you don't have to force yourself to detach from anything. It happens automatically because it goes along with the flow. Okay? So you sense this detachment because you become aware of your soul, and you become aware of the expansive cosmic you, not just what you see in the mirror, but the expansive part of you that is infinite. You begin to realize that dreams, when we often talk about achieving your dreams or chasing your dreams, I wish we could do away with that phrase, but achieving that dream, that thing is finite. But when you make spirituality your backbone, you realize your soul is infinite. Then it becomes much calmer and much easier for you to detach, because you accept that there are infinite ways that dream can still unfold for you. So that is today's episode. I want to hear your insights. I want to hear what you got out of this episode in the comments. Don't forget to check out my membership. Don't forget, I do offer the one-on-ones. Okay, don't forget to check out the course, How to Stand Firm in Your I Am Power, on the 3D, in the 3D. All right, all of the links for my offerings will be in the description box. Thank you for tuning in once again. And until next time, cheers.